So Loto also had a little bit of a description. Lot Zero. Oh my God, is it Lot Zero? In the Discord, it's Lodo. Lodo. Come on, man. But yes, so the intro. Also, I have no idea how to say his name. Is it Giuseppe? I'm not sure. I feel bad if that's wrong. I apologize. So Giuseppe is a 3D artist from Rome. It's Italian. Yes. Giuseppe. Ah, you're in chat. Yo, dude. Giuseppe. Okay. Italy. At the moment, I'm wearing the hat of a lead 3D artist at 101 Games. I bring over 5+ years of production experience in the B2B industry, where I've delivered 3D applications and digital experiences using Unreal Engine 4 and 5. My area of expertise includes environment creation, props, modeling, texturing, and material authoring with a procedural approach. Looking to specialize as a material artist. Hope it's enough. Oh, it's enough. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Giuseppe? Dude, you guys have told me like 3 different ways. Giuseppe. Infinite apologies. Infinite. All of them. Yes. The nanite stuff is UE5. True DCs was off the rocks. Right. So. Oh, Banjo. You're killing me, man. So if we start down here, I'm not going to go through every single post here, but this is 4 years ago. So we shouldn't critique too hardcore on these, right? So the attention to modeling is really nice. Oh man, there's even like, yo, let's go. Yeah, so the modeling is pretty high res, actually, considering the size of these. The thing is like when you have props like this, it's really trying to figure out, okay, is this supposed to be third person, or is it first person, or like what's the context, right? But generally speaking, those look pretty cool. Then we've got some stylized stuff. This is also 3 years ago. Looks interesting. The poly count is quite low, but I think you're leaning into that for the styled look that you've gone for. Seeing some breakdowns of how you're texturing this is always good. I say that with everything that I critique, is like, give me breakdowns. I want to see. This looks cool. I really like the way you have the materials responding to the lighting, or just the way you've presented the asset with the way that where the lights are placed. Yo, Chris, that does sound like a fun idea. We should do it on stream. Yeah, these look sick though. I really like the look you've gone for. And you're even doing like, it kind of feels like you got subsurface going on in your wood material. But I mean, sick. Looks cool. This one's quite interesting, and I think you were trying to do something here that where, like with these lines, it feels very harsh. And I think like cleaning it up would be something that would help like visualize this a little bit more. Was that wood or leather? This one. I'm getting a wood vibe from this. Definitely a wood vibe. But I could see with the subsurface, that could be a little confusing. So I think if you were to do this look, but then like blur it, so it looks like it's happening and is only being exposed through the crevices, this kind of glowing effect, I think that could be pretty cool. But yeah, again, 3 years ago, so you know. Yo, look at this. I think I remember looking at this. So, execution wise, this is pretty strong. And when we look at the roughness on it, the roughness is actually extremely intriguing. Just the way that details are kind of being distributed. What you've really nailed is that duct tape. The sense of things under the tape. Speaking about bombs, yeah, the attention to detail of the information that's being implied under the tape is actually quite impressive. Like the tension lines and like where there's just clearly something under the tape. That is super nice. I think the pipe material. Oh, excuse me. The pipe material itself feels a little strange, but like generally speaking, this type of stuff. I'm missing a Snake game being played on here. Left 4 Dead vibes. I just made you yawn. I'm sorry, George. Dude, that's what I'm talking about. That's awesome. Like, the fact that you put that detail on there makes me think that you've actually owned this phone. You know this phone. Oh man, I just remember seeing these bars and then doing, just gonna hold it up. Gotta get that connection. Just hanging out the window. Send that text. Let's go. No, this is a really nice asset though. And again, I just like these breakdowns help me a little bit. I think you could probably do with one angle, like this middle one, and then just put that next to the other renders, right? But just understanding like how did you do the tape? Like is that being able to waving the phone and for coverage? There's got to be coverage in here somewhere. Yeah, I think that's the stuff I want to see as well is like that look that you've got going on there. So nice. So nice. And you've presented all the information or like the assets pretty nicely. Dude, I didn't even... That's so cool. The specs are like on like a blueprint. That's freaking awesome. That is really cool. Maybe the Duracell batteries are a little too small. But generally speaking, this looks great. So, given the amount of time we've got left, I know that you're seeking to be a material artist or specializing in material art. Oh, dude, I remember. Nice. I remember. Oh my God. Armageddon. The Carmageddon games are so good. And Doom? Oh man. Can't beat it. That Nokia will stay after the explosion. You're not wrong. Dude, look at that color. See, I think this is where like, okay, that roughness, because now we can see, okay, that's your roughness. Understanding how the keys are affected in the roughness does a whole lot when it comes to like the way the keyboard is visualized. Because see, right now all the roughness is pretty similar, and I would argue maybe even a little extreme on the case itself. Like this is really dark. That's definitely coffee or soda. You gotta go walk the beast. Hey, Chris, have a good one, man. Nice. An entire bucket. But seeing like how much the keys are rotated and tilted from each other is just feels strange to me, right? So there's trying to find that in between or that balance. But yeah, now let's take a moment and kind of take in some of your materials. We've got Megascan scenes, which are always cool. Oh man, did you? Yo, wait, what? Hang on here. So there's a maybe a little too much motion blur, but I think this is a great way of, it looks like you're recording this with your virtual camera plugin. Yeah, cool. So you're using like your cell phone to track the movements. But you can see how much more, like, the moment you start to do these pans over the surfaces, it's instantly like way higher in quality for whatever reason. Like, I think cutting down on the motion blur and maybe making it more intentionally like you're walking, maybe not looking around so much as just like walking up the space. Because this is super nice seeing it like this. But yeah, this is building scenes with Megascans is really fun because then you can just focus on composition and capturing a mood, a feeling, right? And just working on your logic of like prop placement, like where does grass and like weeds and stuff form, and how do you make an interesting composition when you don't have to worry about the assets. Yeah, if we dig into your materials, so the coffee bean one, oh wow, there's like, okay, stable diffusion materials. Dude, what? That's cool. That's cool. I don't mind. Stable diffusion popcorn. What are we looking at here? Oh my god. Oh wow. Man, those are really nice. See, and the thing is like, for those types of materials, I totally get like going this route, using stable diffusion to help like build on a material, especially when it's like quote unquote insignificant materials, like the materials where you just need that material for like a popcorn box. You know, it's not the primary shot of the scene, but the fact that you're showing like what you've been able to get with stable diffusion, it's quite interesting. Let's see what else we got here. We got 3D scanned reality capture for tree bark. Ooh, with some breakdown of like tools used. That's nice. Yeah, this looks great. I think having a directional light instead of overcast just to show how the surface is responding to the lighting would be really helpful. Not bad, not bad. His latest stuff. We got this one here. Very nice procedural materials. Waffle, 100% substance designer. Let's go. That's got a specific type of glaze going on. Dude, delicious. Please, no, I'm hungry now. Fight it. Fight it, Polystocks. So these are really interesting. I know that like, so the 100% substance designer is really cool. But I also know that you don't rely on like that as like the flex, right? Must not lick screen. All right, we'll switch to this. You don't want to lick this surface. There we go. But like, I can see you're pushing your materials. Don't hesitate to intermix scans into this. And I know you were so you're playing with Megascans. They have a lot of atlas surfaces as well, right? Like twigs and sticks and stuff like that, or like little pebbles or leaves in atlases. You can use Designer to scatter those atlases in a smart way across your surfaces, helping like push your surfaces that much further forward. So it's not all Designer, but it's more about capturing the surface itself. What? Look at this one. The other thing that I really like about people that want to be material artists or people that are material artists is their interest in expressing surfaces or wanting to make surfaces that don't have a that are just quite interesting to look at or trying to figure out, like an ice cream scoop, or like what does a cactus sphere look like? Or like bubble wrap, for example. Like there's a lot going on here, but I really want to pop those. And it looks like you've popped a few of them. So it's really intriguing. Let's see what else we got here. That's nice. Safety first. I love it. They look a little, maybe a little shrink wrapped around the edge. Usually it's more like an impression of the presence of the rubber under it. What's that? Z? Well, we can talk later and I can explain everything to you. Does that help? This one's really cool. Again, it's being really careful with how far you displace or shift things outside of reality. So like this surface is really cool looking, but I don't know where I would see a wall where this starts to break apart like this. It's more of like a stylized look that you went for, or it comes off as stylized. I think if you were to try and say that this is like a damaged brick wall, I think material artists would ask you how did it damage like that? Like what's happening with that? You like these bricks? They're very castle-like. Maybe an old brick road? Possibly, yeah. But see, in that case, then I would be expecting like some smaller bits and pieces, maybe some cigarette butts, some like little tufts of grass that are growing in between the bricks, you know? So right now in your materials, you're pushing a specific surface. And in a lot of these cases, like this one, the cinder blocks wall, I think pushing variety in the amount that the grout is sticking out really pushes the fidelity and the quality of it, right? Getting that variety or the change in the surface, or even like just getting this material on a wall and showing what it looks like at the base where it meets the ground. Seeing them in context, I think is even more powerful. Oh, this one's interesting. Yeah, and I like that you've thought about the logic of what's behind the tiles. These tiles feel strangely thick and then also weirdly warped in ways that is hard to explain for this type of material. So just stuff to keep in mind as you're going forward. I mean, this is 3 years ago as well. The amount the grout is sticking out. Dynasty's hot new mix tape just dropped. Oh man. So, and I guess I just from like a terminology standpoint, like I wouldn't worry about making sure that it's clear that it's procedural materials. Just show your materials off. Like a material artist is a material artist, no matter if they're procedural, if they're scanned, if it's, if you're using AI and stable diffusion, it's the end result that the material artist or any artist will care about, right? And like getting the look to be very specific look. But yeah, I feel like I went through a lot of stuff here. We're at 10:03, so I'm probably gonna call it good here. But you think the Rubik's Cube kind of sticks out as not on par with the others? This one, I think if you wanted to do a Rubik's Cube, you should actually just do the Rubik's Cube. Like make a cube with the bevels and then just put the material on it and say, look, it's a Rubik's Cube. Right? Because to me, this is just a tile. In the Rubik's Cube, I think you would want to show the cube pieces going into the shadows as they go deeper. Maybe even making because the piece normally isn't that color. It's like a sticker on top of that piece of the cube, right? So really showing that, like taking the Rubik's Cube, aging it, maybe twisting part of it and just putting those materials on it, putting the material on it and having some of the stickers like peeled away and like showing that age and discoloration. Getting that character into the surfaces is everything, I think, when it comes to being a material artist. That's just my opinion because I'm not a material artist myself. But yeah, I think presenting that as a square would be nice. And surfaces where it makes sense for it to be more cube-like, I think could benefit the portfolio from just being all spheres. Again, my opinion though. I think most material artists are just using spheres. So, but yeah, if you have any questions, just hit me up. We have a chat where I'll be posting your guys' portfolios anyways, after I've edited and separated them out and got them on YouTube for you. And yeah, I can answer any questions you might have.